Hi guys. I'm Baphile. I'm Baphile Duba from the Eastern Cape, and I'm currently based in Johannesburg because of studies. I'm just an ordinary guy, and I love Jesus Christ. And I just thought that let me just take this moment to share the word of the Lord with you. And I'd like to talk more about patience. Um, Patience, because I believe that patience is something that most of us are lacking. It's something that most of us do not have. And I love it when Joyce Meyer says that patience is not only the ability to wait, but patience is what you do while waiting. Now let's jump straight to the word. I'm going to be reading from Luke 5, verse 5. It says that Simon answered, Master, we've worked hard all night and haven't caught anything, but because you say so, I will let down my nets. Um, Here we see that Simon Peter has been waiting the whole night, has been fishing the whole night, and he didn't catch anything. So now, when he was busy washing his nets, preparing to go home, here comes Jesus Christ, and he starts teaching them. And then he starts challenging Peter, saying that cast down your nets and let's catch some fish. And then that's when he responds and says that, Master, we've been doing this the whole night, but because you say so, I will do it. And then they caught large amounts of fish such that the boat that they were in began to sink. They had to call for another second boat. Both boats began to sink. That's how many fish there were. And later on in the text, it says that Peter knelt down on his knees and he started crying, saying that, go away from me, for I'm a sinful man. And then the Lord Jesus Christ responded and said, do not be afraid. From now on, we'll catch men. So now here we get to see that how committed Peter was, such that he spent the whole night fishing. How patient he was, spending the whole night while fishing and not catching anything. Now it shows that he had passion for what he was doing. He had a vision for what he was doing. He loved what he was doing. He believed in what he was doing. So in whatever you do believing in for, in whatever you waiting upon the Lord for, you have to be patient, and you have to work so hard such that when other people are asleep, you are awake, pushing your dream, chasing after what you want, chasing your passion, chasing after what you want, chasing after what you want and what you love. Now, I love it when Simon Peter responds and says that, Master, we've been doing this the whole night. We caught nothing, but because you say so, I will cast down my nets. Now, it's not easy to humble yourself and say that when the Lord Jesus Christ tells you something, that you should do something. Now, it takes faith after failure to respond in such a way. It takes a humble man to respond in such a way and say that I've been doing it, I've been failing, but because you say so, I'm going to trust in you, I'm going to believe in what you're saying, and then I'm going to do what you want me to do. Now, Peter had each and every reason to say that, Jesus Christ, you're a carpenter. I'm a fisherman. I've been doing this the whole, my entire year. My entire life, I've been doing this thing. So you cannot tell me anything. But because he decided to change his mentality, because he decided to humble himself, and he waited upon Jesus Christ and trusted upon him and said that, you know what, because you say so, I'm going to do it. He caught large amounts of fish after that. Caught large amounts of fish such that he couldn't even maintain it, he couldn't even handle it. Now, in whatever you're asking for, be careful. Ask yourself, is what you really want really what you want? Ask yourself, is when I get this thing that I'm believing in for, will I be able to maintain it? Will I be able to handle it? Because Simon Peter has been wanting fish, he's been working hard the whole night, but he couldn't get what he wanted. But when he got what he wanted, he couldn't handle it, such that he had to call other people to help him out. It was too much for him to handle. Sometimes you should be away and be able to question yourself, is what I really want really what I want? Ask the thought behind the thought. Behind the thought, the first thought, is what I really want really what I want? And will I be able to handle it? Now, sometimes God gives you what you want just to show you that what you want is not what you really want. So you should be careful as to what you're asking for. Now, I love it early in the text. It says that Simon Peter responded and said, Master, we've been doing this the whole night, but because you say so, I'm going to do it. Now, at the end of the text, it says that Peter fell down to his knees and started crying and said that, go away from me, for I'm a sinful man. Now, it shows that he understood, he knew exactly that Jesus Christ was the master, but he didn't know how powerful he can become. Sometimes in our lives, we do exactly the same. We know who Jesus Christ is, we know who God is, but we do not know how powerful they can become. We do not know how much power they've got. We do not know what they're capable of doing. So be careful as to what you're asking for. Make sure that you fully understand that relationship you're asking for. Are you going to be able to maintain it? Are you going to be able to handle it when you've got it? That job you've been praying for, are you going to be able to manage it and maintain it when you've got it? Is it really what you want? Is it really what you want? Now, I remember a few months ago, I was walking through Park Station, and it was about 4 o'clock, so it was late, and I was panicking. I was in a rush. I was rushing somewhere. So at about 4 o'clock, it's usually packed. Everyone is coming from work and going back home. So in front of me, there was this guy, and he was walking extremely slow. So I was in a rush. He was walking slower, so I had to walk with the same pace as he was. When I checked this side, people were coming. When I checked this side, people were coming. I couldn't pass this guy. Behind me, people were furious and they wanted to pass. They thought I was the one causing this whole traffic. So as I was walking behind this guy, I began to have bitter thoughts, and I started calling this guy stupid. I started calling this guy an idiot. I started having questions that how come this guy not know that at this time of the day you have to be fast because everyone is in a rush. So you have to be considerate. So I started having these bitter thoughts about this guy, and finally I managed to pass. When I looked back, I noticed that this guy was blind. He was blind, and from that moment my spirit was crushed. It was crushed. I regret my thoughts. I still even today regret my thoughts. But I noticed something. I learned something from that day. That moment, I was acting from a hard place. A hard place. I was acting based on the feelings. I was acting based on what I was feeling at that time. I was panicking. I was in a rush. So I made my thoughts, my actions, they were all aligned with what I was feeling. So now I'd like to encourage you that in whatever you're going through, in whatever you're waiting for, in whatever you're believing from Jesus Christ, you should act from a head place. Because in the head, that's where the knowledge is. In the head, that's where the wisdom is. In the head, that's where the vision is. That's exactly what Peter did. During the night, I'm sure he was feeling cold. He was tired. He was hungry at some point, but he didn't entertain those feelings. He lived on a head place, based on his vision, based on what he believes, and based on on his knowledge. Because of that, he was able to be blessed by Jesus Christ early in the morning. He was able to do that. So I'd like to encourage you that while waiting, make sure that you're living from a head place, based on the knowledge that Jesus Christ tells you, based on the wisdom that you get from God. Now, the Bible doesn't specify exactly what Peter was doing while waiting for the fish. It doesn't tell us that what he was doing. But I'd like to encourage you that while waiting for that blessing, while waiting for that job, while waiting for that partner, while waiting for that restoration, that salvation, the chains to break from that addiction. I do not know what you might be believing in for, but I'd like to encourage you that while waiting, while being patient, you should be able to read the word. Make sure that you read the word. Make sure that you pray harder to Jesus Christ. And above all, make sure that you become a blessing to other people. There's nothing as nice as you being incomplete, still believing in something, still believing for something and waiting upon for something, but being a difference maker in other people's lives, becoming a blessing in other people. There's nothing as nice as that. So continue blessing other people as much as you do not have what you want, but make sure that you become a difference maker. You make a difference in other people's lives. And I like it when Proverbs 19 verse 11 says that a man's wisdom gives him patience. It is to his glory to overlook an offense. It is to his glory to overlook an offense. Now, I might not know how much time you've been waiting for that blessing. For Peter, it took him the whole night to get his blessing, to get the amount of fish he wanted. I do not know how much time it might take for you to get what you want. It might take a day, it might take a few minutes, it might take the whole week, it might take the whole month, it might take the whole year, or even many years. But in whatever happens, continue believing in the Lord and continue being patient. Continue being patient. For Abraham, he only got his son Isaac when he was 100 years old. So it's never too late for whatever you're believing in for. It's never too late. Continue being patient. And I love it when Joyce Meyer says that patience is not only the ability to wait, it is what you do while waiting. Thank you.